Milwaukee, that the town is famous for beer, the Braves, and Hildegarde, the incomparable Hildegarde. In the past 15 years, Hildegarde's accent, musical talents, and sense of showmanship, which has included the use of red roses, lace handkerchiefs, and stunning gowns, have combined to establish Hildegarde as a distinct personality in supper clubs, nightclubs, radio in this country and abroad, and at the piano or without it. She has a singing style that can only be described as Hildegarde. But all of this didn't just happen, and I think Hildegarde would be the first to say that her friend, her manager, her agent, Anna Sosenko, has been responsible for a great deal of her success. Hildegarde has an apartment in this building on New York's Upper East Side. It's a far cry from the time she first met Anna Sosenko in a Camden, New Jersey boarding house in the early 30s. Anna was a promising songwriter with a business head. Hildegarde was a promising singer with no business head. They joined ranks, pooled their talents, and without ever signing a contract, started one of the most profitable unofficial corporations the entertainment business has ever known. Hildegarde goes back on tour next week, but she's at home tonight, I think. Good evening, Hildegarde.
Good evening, Mr. Murrow.
How are you?
I'm pretty well, thank you.
I've heard you once described as the queen of the kitchens, but judging from the way you look tonight, isn't that a bit unfair, even though I think you're coming from the direction of the kitchen, aren't you?
Well, my dear, I must tell you one thing. I don't like to have audiences see me before I make an appearance. I don't want to see them at all, and I don't want them to see me. So I go the back way, and that is through service elevators and into the kitchens. And just before I make my grand entrance, there the head waiters and people put down a dining room tablecloth, and there I stand waiting for my entrance.
Tell me, where is Anna Sosenko tonight?
Well, she's right in the living room over there. If you'd wish to meet her, I'd be delighted.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Murrow, may I present my manager, my producer, and my director, Anna Sosenko.
Good evening, Anna.
How are you, Ed?
Fine, thank you. Hildy, tell me the truth. Do you two girls get along, or do you argue very much?
Well, I think Anna better answer that one.
What about it, Anna?
I think we argue a lot. Wherever there are two people, there will always be differences, especially since they are individuals, Ed. But when you remember how hard we've worked and where we started, and let's go back to Paris, they were pretty rugged days, and they called for lots of arguments and differences. But look what happened to us. Look where we're sitting.
That's right.
Well, those days in Paris must really have been rather rugged, weren't they?
Yes, they were very difficult. Now, point of interruption, my darling. Let me say that they were extremely difficult, but then what success has not been difficult, Hildegarde?
Ah, yes, how right you are. But the one important thing is we've weathered the storm.
I hope.
That's right.
Well, Anna, what happened to your songwriting career in those days?
Ed, it was impossible. Even as a very young woman, I realized you couldn't do two things well at the same time, and I foresaw great possibilities in Hildegarde. So I decided to concentrate on her because I could learn a whole world, which I think I did, or a quarter of a world. And I wrote songs anyway, and I put them away, like Vincent Youmans used to do in a trunk, and I'm waiting to see what happens. Well, Hildegarde knows more about it than I do.
But Anna, I don't care how many songs that will never see the light of day. You've done one great song, and that is my theme song, Darling, Je vous aime beaucoup.
Like Beethoven's symphony. We?
That is right. No, not only that, you've written beautiful songs, but this, I think, is your claim to fame.
Well, Ed, have you any question you want to ask about this, about how it was written, etc.?
Yes, I have, and then I'd like to hear a bit of it, if you will.
All right, I'll tell you what, Anna and I will go to the piano, and we'll demonstrate how this extravaganza started to how it was born.
This is really the way it began, is it?
This is the way it was born.
Tell the story of how it was done.
Well, you see, when we were in Paris, in Europe, one day Anna and I were bicycling near Le Touquet, which is in France, and it was right next to the British War Memorial Cemetery. And you know, Anna used to speak French very strangely, just like I do. She would say, "Oh, donnez-moi a piece of bread," or "Oh, vous êtes silly today," and things like that. So she decided, she got this wonderful brainstorm to to about two people, an English boy and a French girl, and they fell in love, and they didn't know how to speak the language. This is the verse of Darling
So I
Sugar
came back. Hildegarde was a great pianist, and I couldn't play, and I was nervous, and I said, Hildegarde, I've got a song. Let's try it. And she said, oh, you can't play, but let's try it anyway. So we did.
And you played the melody, the pure melody.
I will put my glasses on.
Okay. Now, I play the lush, beautiful chords. I hope they're beautiful. All right, let's try. Come on for the melody. You're the soloist. Not very much. What a song. I'll take a break, yes. Ah, chérie, my love for you is wish my French were good enough. Tell you so much more.
May I get hot?
Yes, all right, let's get good, hot. Stick to the melody. Ah, that's enough. Oh, I think you've overdone it.
Trying to get modern and elegant.
You should have stuck to the old French.
Hildegarde, tell me, you once worked in a department store, didn't you?
Yes, I did, X number of years ago. Yes, I never forget that. During the summer vacations, when I went to high school, I would work at a certain department store in Milwaukee, and in this particular store, I was in the notion department. You know, threads, cotton, thimbles, etc. But my one great ambition was to play the piano in the sheet music department. But I wasn't good enough. I never made it.
Well,
maybe just as well.
Were you a good saleswoman? Salesgirl?
Was I a good saleswoman?
Yes.
Well, I doubt it so much. I didn't know the gift of salesmanship as much as I do today. I'm sorry.
Well, that was some time ago. Do you have any special song that you enjoy playing now?
Yes, at the moment I'm in love with a very beautiful song, and it is going to be heard in the forthcoming musical adaptation of John Golden's famous Seventh Heaven. But I think that Anna could be able to tell you a little more about it.
Well, it happened that I was very close to this play because my very dear friend Stella Unger and Victor Young wrote the score. Stella wrote the words, and Victor Young wrote the music, and the play has been adapted by Stella Unger and Victor Wolfson. The song "May Your Blessings Be Many" stands out in the score, and Hildegarde did the musical, for the first time in the history of the theater, Hildegarde did a sort of an audition record.
Audition, that's right.
And we loved it so much, and this is the one song that she really loved more than anything. So go ahead,
And
Hildegarde.
May Your Blessings
Could we hear it?
May your blessings be many, your problems be few. May the hope in your heart be eternally new. May your heartaches like snowflakes be light. May your blessings be many this night. May your blessings be many, your problems be few. May the good things of life come to each one of you. May your heartaches like snowflakes be light. May your blessings be many. Good night. Sorry, I haven't got a very good voice tonight. I have a cold.
It's very nice, Hildy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Murrow.
Anna, I've been noticing the pictures on the wall there behind you. Which one of you two is the collector in this team?
I'm the collector. I'm the collector, actually, although Hildegarde has a great appreciation. The picture that I love the most is the wind. It started out as a study, and it became a symbolic picture of no matter how hard you try in this world, and you raise the corn, and there it is. It's ready to be cut, and a wind and a storm comes along, and the fear in this man's heart, meaning there is and there is not security. That's the story of the picture, Ed.
Is Hildegarde something of a collector, too?
I think she has a great instinct, and we shall get to that a little later, shall we, Monsieur Murrow? Murrow?
May we? Has she found any good bargains recently?
Je would say she found beaucoup bargains.
Well, then why don't you go into the library?
Well, I think I'll take a little walk.
And
yes.
then get the pictures,
Very
and
well.
then afterwards we'll take a look at my choice of art.
Hildy, you must, traveling around as much as you do, meet a great many interesting people, don't you?
I surely do, Mr. Murrow. After all, I've traveled this country many, many times back and forth, and it's a great honor to say I've met the great and the near great in all walks of life. I would like to show, if I may, this wonderful autograph book. It's absolutely full of plenty autographs from the Trumans to Omar Bradley to Salvador Dali, the great painter, and there are great doctors and lawyers. And I can only say that it's a great thing to have a nice book like this.
Well, Hildegarde, I wonder if we could go and see if Anna has dug up that bargain you found in the art world.
Okay, right in here in the library. There we are. There you are.
Well, Anna, you're an expert. Was it a good buy?
Well, I would say, Ed, if I've got the right side of the picture.
That's right.
It was a wonderful buy, and this is a wonderful buy, and I'm very proud of Hildegarde's acumen, her taste. You see them, Ed?
Yes, I can.
Do you like them?
Put that one down a little further.
She said down a little further.
That's right.
Very well, Ed. These are wonderful buys, and I hope Mr. Papsdorf
Yes.
sells many, many pictures.
Yeah, Mr. Popstorff of Detroit, Michigan.
That's
right.
Well, Anna, I know you keep Hildegarde well clothed. I'll bet it wasn't that way during the early days in Paris, was it?
No, no, I'm sorry. Yes, it was. Hildegarde was always, Ed, very well clothed. Although, Hildegarde, were we always very well, you know what?
No, we were not always well fed, though, believe me. I tell you what, maybe I'll go and show Mr. Murrow and the audience the dresses.
That's right.
The first ones we ever had.
You should show the dresses that kept us from eating properly. I think it's very important.
Here's the first English dress. It's gunmetal satin, and notice the line.
Of course, there's plenty of food.
Lovely, lovely. And this was my first French dress, which is gold lame, and it's always
very elegant.
Look at it today, but it's all crushed now. But I'll never, never relinquish these dresses. I love them. They remind me of the
She's
beautiful
hoarded
past.
them for 20. Well, let's not.
We won't go into that.
Hildegarde, I thought I saw a moment ago there a football, which is an unusual accoutrement to find, isn't it?
Isn't it wonderful, Mr. Murrow? This football was given to me because the Ohio State team called me their mascot because they decided that I helped win the game, a very crucial, very important game, where the team, you know...
What position did you play?
Oh, I didn't play any position.
She doesn't know anything about
football. Anyway,
football.
I got them to win the game, and they gave me this all autographed by the players. And the coach got back into the...
That's right. They won the game. She was the mascot. This was a good luck sign. And she's been good luck for a lot of people.
So,
There it is, Ed.
Well, thank you very much, Hildegarde and Anna Sosenko, for letting us come and visit you in your apartment on the east side of Manhattan tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been very pleasant indeed.
Good night.
Bye.
We'll be back in a moment. There are some of the many people who contributed to this program tonight. And to those of you who have requested copies of the Chinese proverb and the creed read to us by Mary Martin and her daughter last week, I ask your indulgence. We will be mailing them soon. And now, from person to person, good night and good luck.